What's up, runners? Today we're talking about how to enjoy running more. And yes, I'm just going to go ahead and keep this in the intro because Kevin and I are a little loopy. We're recording this a little late at night, so who knows what's going to come out in today's episode. So stay tuned. If you're looking for ways to bring more joy into your running and you want to be a physically and mentally stronger runner, you're in the right place.
This is the Real Life Runners Podcast, and we're your hosts, Kevin and Angie Brown. Thanks for spending some time with us today. Now let's get running. What's up, runners?
Oh, wow, you brought it up.
I know it.
What's up, runners? Welcome back to the show. I don't know what's going on with us, but let's go with it.
Yeah, no, because it's all about joy, and that's the whole point of the thing. And so, yeah, having a little laugh fest at the beginning, I think is a good start.
Yeah, so hold on, our daughter is calling us. Pause. And we're back. Okay, so we are here to talk about how to enjoy running more today. That's the topic, and this spawns from No, this spawns from a post that I decided to put up on Instagram today. And the question was, I put it up on my Instagram story. If you're not following us yet, head over to Instagram at Real Life Runners and hit that follow button because we're much more entertaining over there, I think, than we are on the podcast. But who's to say? We're probably entertaining in both worlds.
I'm super
right?
entertaining on the podcast.
So. Yeah. Obviously. That's because you just don't post on Instagram.
That's why I'm more entertaining on the podcast.
So I put up a question on my Instagram story today. And the question was, which of the following is most important to you right now? And the options were to run without pain, to enjoy running, or to feel better running. And the majority of people that answered, and I had a lot of people answer this poll. I think it was more than 50% last time I looked was...
Yeah, it was a majority.
To enjoy running.
Yeah.
So we decided, let's do a podcast about it. How can we help you all enjoy running more? So that's really our topic of today.
Excellent, which is great because I love running and I love talking about running. It's a whole joy experience to me from all angles.
Yeah, and I'm a mix. So like most of the time I enjoy running, I would say. I'm just going to be 100% honest. You're over here.
And I'm mixed.
You're over here laughing. I enjoy running, I would say, for the most part, but there's always those days where you don't enjoy it. And I think you have those days too. And I think that maybe that's not on our outline here, but that's probably our number one thing to take away is that you're not supposed to enjoy it all the time. 100% of the time, every day, on every run.
I enjoyed most of my run today. I did not enjoy the alarm going off at 5 to start my run. I sat on the couch for, I think, 3 to 5 minutes debating whether I should just fall asleep on the couch or
I just did?
Yeah, or go out for a run. Like, as soon as I was out, well, not as soon, 5 minutes into my run, I was good. I was into it, and then now I'm running. But, yeah, it was a little rough trying to just tie my shoes.
Yeah, and I think that we all have that experience, and I think that needs to be the number one thing that we remember is that you don't have to enjoy it 100% of the time to still enjoy running, and I think everyone would probably agree with that.
We can't enjoy anything 100% of the time. There's whatever it is, your favorite meal.
Chocolate?
You're going to get, yeah, I was going to say chocolate.
100% of the time?
No, I was going to take that to Willy Wonka because that big kid fell into the river and got sucked up the thing because he loved chocolate too much. That was the issue.
Right.
You're going to get sucked up a tube, and then the Oompa Loompas are going to come out and sing. And so you can't enjoy the thing 100% of the time because the Oompa Loompas will show up.
But if you eat it in moderation, will you still be able to enjoy it 100% of the time?
Yes. Because
okay,
then,
so if you don't overdo it.
As long as you don't overdo.
Yeah, but I think that running is different. Even if you're doing it in moderation and if you're following a training plan that's right for you, there's still going to be some runs that you might not enjoy all the time.
Yes, but in moderation, I think it's more likely that you're going to enjoy most of the runs.
Okay.
I don't know if we're getting to 100.
Yeah.
But I feel like if you aren't trying to go out there and pound it every single day, you have a greater chance of a higher percentage of your runs bringing you joy.
Okay, so let's jump in here and dig into how to make running, I don't want to say more fun, but how to be able to enjoy it more. Funner?
Is that what you wanted to say instead?
No.
Oh, okay. Did you want to use real words?
I did.
Okay, fine.
And all of a sudden my humor is gone. And I'm just like, okay, now we're going to just finish the episode and go to bed.
All right, fine.
Yeah. It's funny because I was going to tell a little story at the beginning of like why I'm tired and why we're loopy. And it's just, I we just jumped in instead.
You decided it was too long to tell the story, and so we skipped right over it?
No, I was out of town last week and traveling a lot, and kind of what I did last week was a bit of a draining type of thing, and I feel like I'm still recovering from all of that. And so, Kevin, we were going to record the podcast a little bit earlier in the evening, and I went ahead and fell asleep on the couch accidentally.
Yeah, so I went ahead and outlined the podcast, and now
perfect.
we're good to go.
And now we're good. All right, so how about you start us off today, since you're the one that outlined the podcast today?
Okay, so I think that a lot of people get into running for essentially like health purposes. Like they want to get fit, they want to just generally feel healthy, and think that running is going to be a good means to that ends. And then one of the following scenarios plays out. They start pushing too hard, which leads to this inconsistency and or injury cycle.
Why do you think they push too hard?
Because they're not sure how to do it. And so they're like, I want to exercise, I want to get in good shape. I'm going to get in good shape faster, and I'm going to get in better shape if I just go out and push.
Yeah.
But the pushing constantly leads to, one, it's not that fun.
Yeah,
like sometimes it's fun, but it's rarely fun. Yeah. And you get the inconsistency injury cycle.
Tell the story about cross-country practice today.
Oh, so we've had kids on the team. It was a senior who's been running for us for years. The number of times that we've told the kids that your easy run should feel comfortable, you should be able to carry on a conversation, you should finish and be like, all right, that was fine. I could probably go out and do more if I even wanted to. And we've told them that all the time. We have a new assistant coach. She went out and was running with the kids on the team. And she kept being like, why don't you just slow down a little bit? We could all run together. Just come and run my pace. This is going to be fine. Just run this pace. And they finished the run. They were chatting the whole time. And they finished the run. They were like, that was weird. I don't feel exhausted. I think I've just been pushing just a little bit every time I go out. Yeah. And it's not like they were pushing so hard every time, but they just literally never let themselves be comfortable on a run.
Yeah, and I think there's a lot of runners that fall into this trap. Like, maybe you're one of them because you listen to this podcast. You're like, okay, they said that I need to run easy. I need to make this feel easy, etc. And it's really hard to do that. And I think that this is one of the first things that we really help people with when they join the Real Life Runners team also, is to help them understand what easy pace actually feels like. Because I do think that most runners, even those ones that are trying to make it feel easy, push just a little bit over that, because it is uncomfortable in the beginning to, I think, mentally accept that it's okay to do this, right? Because I don't think, maybe for some people there is the physical challenge of slowing down, because for some people it can alter your gait pattern a little bit and it can feel awkward in your body. So that can be a little challenging. But I think for most people, it's more of a mental barrier that they have of really buying into this idea that running easier and not feeling tired after my runs is actually going to help me improve as a runner overall.
There are actual physical benefits that you're going to get from running at an easier pace that you're not going to get when you strain yourself. Whether it's
even if it's just a little bit.
Yes, even if you're just pushing just a little bit, you're still missing out on
a little bit.
Thank you. You're missing out on some of the benefits.
You said you wanted my voices.
I did. You have so many of them. Everybody brace themselves, because you know she's going to turn British partway through this podcast.
I hope so.
Oh, it's coming. Hopefully we keep up our UK listenership during that portion.
If I do turn British at some point
it's
in this episode, okay, I just have to preface that by saying it is out of love and respect and definitely not mocking. So I apologize if it's not a great British accent or if you don't love it, but it is truly out of just love and admiration, because I love British people and the British accent.
That is entirely true. Yeah. Yes.
Because I spent a semester in London and I love it.
Yes, all of that is very true. So yes, there's nothing offensive by it, that it just sometimes it comes out.
Yes.
All right.
Which is funny, because last week at my event I was hanging out with some people from the UK, and sometimes my British accent just comes out.
Oh, that's weird. I'm British also. No, you're not. You're from Florida.
And I was like, oh, did they just notice that I did that? Nobody said anything. But I definitely caught myself at one point, because sometimes I just have voices that come out. And
everybody was saying bye. You yelled cheerio, and we don't even say that. What are you talking about?
Oh, my God.
All right. Let's see what else we got here. All right. So
we were talking about pushing just a little bit more.
Uh-huh. So that's one of the options. You're getting into it for health reasons, and you think to get more fit. I'm just going to push just a little bit every time I go out there. Another option is trying to read my own English here.
See? It's not just me.
I
read over Kevin's outline and I'm like, what are you saying?
What are these words?
Here? What is happening?
So get into running, and you combine your increase of your exercise load with a decrease of your food intake. This is also a recipe for just feeling miserable all the time, and likely the injury cycle, but also just feeling miserable all the time.
So for those of you that need a Kevin translation of increased exercise and decreased food, it's this idea of dieting on top of exercise, right? A lot of people, when they get into running for health reasons, when you say quote unquote health reasons, a lot of people get into running to lose weight or improve health markers in some way. And a lot of the times that for a lot of people, it means that they're overweight, not always, of course. But their doctors often recommend that they start exercise and dieting. So they do both of these things simultaneously. So if you are both increasing your exercise level and restricting your calories, and you do at a extreme level, maybe not even what you might think is extreme, but it's a extreme change for your body, that can lead to really feeling crappy a lot of the time, not just on your runs, but in your daily life as well.
Yeah. If you're not eating enough, it's going to be really tough to get yourself out the door to run because you're like, I don't have the energy to go out and run.
Right, because food provides energy. And I think that this is one of the things that a lot of people forget, because we think we've been conditioned by the diet industry to believe that food leads to weight gain. And if we eat too much food, we will gain weight, which to an extent, there is some truth to that statement. However, we also have to remember that food is energy. And so if we are restricting our calorie intake, we are also restricting the amount of available energy for us. So then if you're trying to increase your running, which is a very energy heavy type of activity, it's going to be hard for you to feel good on your runs if you don't have an energy source that you're pulling from.
Excellent. Yeah. So everybody's got these thoughts in their head coming from, I don't know, big diet culture. I like to lean into big carb culture and eat something and then go run. It makes the running just all that much more enjoyable. All right. Third option, you get into running for health reasons and you start seeing these improvements. And so you start signing up for races, and then you sign up for a race. You have fun with that. You're like, I should sign up for another one. You run faster in the next race. And then you're like, maybe I should sign up for a longer race. And now you're caught on this hamster wheel of chasing the next PR. I can always run a little bit faster than this. Maybe I could run a longer distance. Maybe I can now run that longer distance a little bit faster, and it just keeps going, which could be fun. That can even be fun for quite a while. But at some point, you might realize that you're just endlessly chasing PRs, that in theory, the time can always get just a little bit faster, and the distance can always go just a little bit farther. It's just a little bit. Again, I came back.
Just a little.
Okay.
But the thing is that, if that is your reason for running, if you're just out there to chase PRs, and if you've been in running for a while, you understand that progression in running is not linear. Your improvement is not linear. So there's going to be a time, especially at the beginning, where you do make a lot of improvements. And so sometimes you make really big jumps in improvement at the beginning, but at some point that will plateau. And sometimes you might even decline a little bit, especially if you fell into the last trap that we just talked about of restricting your calories and trying to increase your running load, whether that's trying to run faster or trying to run longer. That improvement is going to start to slow down, or you might even go backwards. And so you're going to hit some races where you don't hit the PR, and then you feel yucky about it, you feel crappy about it, you feel down on yourself or frustrated or confused, and you're like, I don't know what just happened. Why am I not improving? And so if you're on this constant hamster wheel of just chasing PRs, then that is going to suck a lot of the joy out of running, because if you don't hit that PR, then all of a sudden the mind wants to go to, what was it all for?
Yes, then I feel like I've wasted the last however many weeks or months even, and you're looking back. Even if you enjoyed the training, you look back and you see all that training as a negative.
But I think that part of the problem with chasing PRs is that people aren't necessarily enjoying the training in the process. They're simply looking for the results. And if you're only looking for results and you're not enjoying the process, that is a super easy way for you to not enjoy running.
Yeah, because you've skipped over process. Like, you're just looking for end results. So whatever you do day to day is just the things you have to do. And it's okay that somewhere in your training are some things that you're like, I have to do this thing. It's not necessarily my most favorite thing, and we'll get to that later, but there are things that should go into your training plan, even if they're not your favorite thing.
Yeah, I don't love waking up at 5 o'clock in the morning and going to meet my friends at 5:30. I do love meeting my friends. I don't like that it's at 5:30 in the morning, but that is part of the deal, right? So there are aspects of it that I don't love. I also don't love running in 85-degree weather. It feels like 96. But again, that's part of running in Florida in the summertime. So there are going to be these aspects that we might not enjoy all of the time. But if we step back, we can say, yeah, but I still enjoy this thing that I'm doing, and I still enjoy the process of all of it. And if not, then maybe it's a time to step back and reevaluate, which we're not really going to talk about today. We're going to focus more on how to help you enjoy the running more.
I feel like we've got podcasts, I don't know, somewhere in our thing of...
There's a recent one that we did about burnout. It's, I would say, within the last probably 10 to 20 episodes. So I think this is 423. I think it's after episode 400. There's been like episodes that we've done about burnout, or if you've lost your running spark, your spark for running, you know, what you can do about it. So you can go back and listen to those if that's how you're feeling. But going back to this idea of the process and not just focusing on the results and the PRs, that is going to be the way to enjoy running more, because if you're just focusing on that outcome, it's going to be hard to enjoy it every single day that you have to get up and go out there and train. However, so one of the things that I like to tell our athletes and the clients that we work with is that your goals are fantastic. It's fantastic for you to have a big goal, whether it's a PR in time or a PR in distance, you know, the longest distance you've ever run, the fastest time you've ever run. Goals are great because goals help give you direction. They give you that lighthouse out in the distance. They help you to figure out how you want to challenge yourself. And the goal determines the plan. So the goal determines the plan, which is the process that you're going to follow in order to achieve that goal. So the key, though, is, and this is where a lot of people get goals wrong and get too attached to them. When you set a goal, you use that goal to create the process that you're going to follow. When you do that, you then have to release your attachment to that goal. And then the new goal becomes to just execute the process, to just follow the plan that you've created or that a coach has created for you to help you achieve that outcome without attachment to the actual goal itself. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Or should I phrase that differently?
No, that makes sense to me. I've heard that a lot. So you set the goal to create the process, and then you release the goal, and the goal becomes to follow the process. Yeah. The key is making sure that process gets you to the goal, and
in theory, and
when you step back and you look at the overall process, you're like, that seems like an enjoyable process, and that's part of where the enjoyment comes.
Yes.
Is whatever your goal is, there's a lot more than one training plan method that will get you there. You Google it. There's 1,000 of them. There are lots of options for how to get to it. You need to find one that actually works for you. You need to find your enjoyable plan.
And I think that it sounds like, for example, Kevin loves running ultra marathons. He loves running his new thing. I shouldn't say new because it's been a couple of years now, but
it's relatively new because I've been running forever.
Yeah. So your current love is ultra marathons. Should I say that?
That's a good way of phrasing it.
I think it would be really cool to, when I watch Kevin out there running on the trails and doing this huge thing, I think to myself, wow, that would be really cool to run 100 miles. Maybe I could do it. And then I think about the process that is required in order to accomplish that goal. And that sounds awful to me. So I know that I, at this point in my life, am not ready to run an ultra marathon because the process does not sound fun to me.
Yeah. Yeah, so then it basically wipes the goal off the table. Right. You're like, oh, that goal doesn't make any sense.
Could I do it? Probably, right? But if I'm going to be miserable the whole time, why would I do that to myself?
Yeah, you've said the same thing about a marathon. What would it take to do a marathon to get a result that you would be satisfied with? Mm-hmm. And you're not willing to put in that work right now, and so that's not a goal.
Right.
it's a silly goal. Like,
Yeah.
it'd be pointless.
Yeah, I think I'm just going to wait until I'm older to do a marathon. That way there's no time expectation, because I think that's one of my biggest hindrances, to be honest with you, is yes, there's a lot of time required just to complete a marathon. But I think that in my head, I have this time expectation of, well, if I ran that marathon, I would want to do it in under X time. And quite honestly, I can't even tell you what that time is right now.
But it's in there somewhere.
But there's something in there. And so I think that if I'm old enough, if I just wait until I'm maybe like 60 or 70, and then I can just release that time expectation. I could release it now, right? Like, I can do whatever I want.
You could.
But then I'm just going to be like a cool old woman that ran her first marathon.
That would also be a fun story.
Heck yeah.
All right. So that's good.
Yeah.
All right, having the goal is good. We were talking about having a goal be to improve your health. And if you take races away, if your overall picture for why you do running is simply to improve your health, then the number one way to do this is consistency. If you want to stay healthy, number one move is consistent exercise. That doesn't mean running every single day. It's not you have to go start a run streak. That means consistently putting in the work so that you can improve your health. And you go online, you hear all sorts of stuff on social media about all these little tips and tricks and hacks and, oh, are you making sure that you're doing this? And find the zone 2 and then be in a sauna and a cold plunge and make sure that you're getting like the protein within 5 minutes after your run and these many calories during your run and all these things and heat adaptation, all this stuff. All of that works at the very small margins. That is not like the most important aspect of your running training. The most important aspect of running training is getting out and running. You have to make sure that there's some strength that comes along with it, because you can't just go out and run forever. Your body will break down. It needs the strength as a foundation.
Thank you for saying that. I appreciate it.
But basically, once you've got enough strength, the number one thing that's going to make you a better runner is running more. Not some magic workout that exists. Not some supplement stack that you need to take before. Not the exact perfect post-recovery drink. It's just running. So when you're trying to figure out, oh, I have to do all of these things, otherwise I'm not possibly going to be able to achieve my plan, there are so many ways to achieve your plan. You don't have to add things. If you're like, I don't really feel like adding that in, then you probably don't need to do it. Okay? Whatever is helping you maintain consistency, that's the best thing for you.
Okay, wait, go back to what you just said. If you don't feel like adding the thing in, then you probably don't need to do it.
So we're talking like extreme things. So
extreme things.
Things like popular stuff that I see. I don't know how much of this is hitting your social media, but stuff that is currently hitting mine is people we're in August and people are still doing like heat suit training. People are finishing their long run and then going and sitting in a sauna. People are talking about trying to maximize the amount of carbs that they take in on a long run. Mm-hmm. These are things that may be helpful for people who are trying to win races.
Well, these are the people that are looking for the fractions of the top percentage.
Right. But that doesn't mean that it's pointless. But to have a podcast that every single week we come on and we're just like, hey, go out and enjoy your easy run.
No.
It's just going to get really boring.
Of course. But that is the foundation of all of it.
Yes.
If you're not going out and doing most of your running at an easy effort level, then the rest of your training is less important because you're not building that aerobic base that you need.
Like almost everything is simply being able to go out and just run comfortably. And if you just go out and run comfortably, that covers the vast majority of your training.
It does. And I think that that is a really big blanket statement. And we definitely
I nailed it.
That is your opinion on it. But I think that we definitely need some easy runs. We definitely need strength training, like you mentioned, which I appreciate. And we definitely need some speed work in there. Now, the speed work is, I guess, more of what we can debate, and it depends on who you are and what your goal is.
I'm excited to debate this.
I don't think we need to debate it right now, but I think that's because if women, especially women over 40, there's some research that shows that higher intensity stuff is important and can help with different adaptations. But I think that we can get too wrapped up in some of those details as well. It is very important for us to not forget the fundamentals of going out and running.
And that's my point, is you don't necessarily need to change your your training plan every time a new research paper comes out and you see another video online of, oh, this run influencer was just talking about this new study that came out and the results were this. Okay, do you actually know what that study was? Was that study just like 8 participants and they saw improvements of 1%? What was the actual study? Because maybe the results sound great, but is the study actually worthwhile? Is the study something that you actually want to change what you're doing, adjust your entire training plan? Because if you're enjoying your current training plan, you probably don't need to adjust it based off of the data that just came out yesterday. Like, you probably don't if you're currently enjoying your training plan, especially if you're enjoying and progressing with it.
Yeah, and I think that's really, that last part is key. If you're enjoying it and making progress, because there's a lot of runners that are making progress, but then they hear something new and then they think, oh, maybe that thing can help me make progress faster or make progress easier. And while that could be true, if what you're doing is currently working and you're enjoying it, why are you going to make a change? I think is one of the biggest questions. And I think that kind of takes into account this need that a lot of people have right now for that instant gratification. And I think it's important for us to remember that running just doesn't work that way. There really is not a good instant gratification when it comes to long distance endurance running.
No, most of those adaptations come slowly.
Yeah.
Like they do.
They do.
There's a few things that you can get over the course of a couple of weeks, but not a lot.
But weeks, months?
Yeah, you're still looking over the course of a couple of weeks.
Right, we're not talking about one magic workout.
No, that doesn't exist. Yeah. If it does, that will be the name of the podcast episode. When we find the magic workout, I promise the name of the episode will be, We Found the Magic Workout.
We found it!
So we've got it.
Yeah. So you have on here 3 causes of consistency, and I'll let you talk about those because, like we're saying here, one of the most important things that if you are running for health reasons, number one thing is consistency. And there are 3. Kevin has 3 causes of consistency here.
Okay, 1, absolute rigid determination, which means no matter what is happening, you just grit your teeth and you're like, I'm doing it because I need to be consistent.
Okay.
I feel like you're eventually going to run out of willpower.
They're for sure. You sure will.
Okay, number 2 is probably the direction that you would direct people towards. Number 3 is the point of this episode. Number 2 is create a habit because then it reduces the amount of effort you need before
friction.
Yes, thank you. It reduces the friction to go out and exercise. Number 3 is increase the enjoyment. And I feel like 2 and 3 could go together. But I think that 1 is going to have the least chance for long-term consistency because eventually just grit it out and go for it, you're going to want to stay in bed one day. Yeah. You're just going to want to. If you can increase the enjoyment or if you can put it into a habit that reduces friction, that makes it easier for you to go out and run, those are going to be long-term consistencies.
Yes, I agree. And I think that we do have to look at how can we enjoy it more. And that's what we're going to get into now because that's what we have been promising you is the point of this episode. So how can we make running more fun or more enjoyable? How can you go out and enjoy running more so that you will be more consistent at it? Because when you're more consistent, then you're going to get better results. And that's going to probably make you enjoy it more. So it becomes a wonderful little cycle that we find ourselves in. Instead of the vicious cycle of where you're pushing too hard and then you get injured and then you have to take time off and then you decline in your running and then you feel like you're behind. So then you start pushing too hard and you're running again and then you end up in this vicious cycle of running. Let's get you in the good cycle of where you're enjoying it. Because you're enjoying it, you're being more consistent, you're seeing better results, and that's going to lead you to even more enjoyment. So the first thing I want to talk about is eliminating pain, because there's a lot of runners that think that pain is just part of the process. And while there is some discomfort that comes along with running, especially if you're trying to challenge yourself and push yourself, like sometimes discomfort is part of the process because they always say growth happens outside of your comfort zone. It requires discomfort in order for you to grow and in order for you to make progress. That's the whole principle of progressive overload. You have to push yourself, do more than what you're currently capable of just by a little bit so that your body will build back stronger. That's how you will improve. However, there is a difference between discomfort and pain. And it's going to be very hard to enjoy running if it just hurts all the time. So this goes back to our principle that we were talking about before, is slowing yourself down, because running is not supposed to hurt all the time. And so if running hurts pretty much every time you go out and run, if you think it's uncomfortable every time you go out and run, the first thing you want to do is slow down. Okay, because slowing down is going to help running feel better. It might change your running a little bit. Maybe that will make it more comfortable, but at least you're going to your lungs are probably going to feel better. The burning in your legs is probably going to feel better. Now, I would consider all of those things more discomfort that I was talking about before versus pain.
No, that's definitely discomfort, but the whole idea of progressive overload works great in like the gym where you're not doing the same muscles every single time you go in. Like you've got a routine that you set me up for that I'm doing like push type exercises one day and a different day I'm doing pull type exercises. And so because I'm doing different muscle groups, I can progressive overload on one and could literally come back the next day and progressive overload again because they're different muscles. When you go out and run, you're hitting the same muscles. So if you push just a little bit one day and then you push just a little bit the next day and again just a little bit the next day, you're progressive overload every single time and you never give your body a chance to recover, and your discomfort just keeps just increasing gradually until it might become pain.
Until it becomes pain. And then going back to what Kevin mentioned before about strength training, and I love when he puts those in because it's those like little love notes to me of, don't worry, Ange, I've got you. We're going to talk about strength training.
Yes,
if you're having any sort of pain, whether it's foot pain, ankle pain, knee pain, hip pain, you have to strength train. I would highly recommend going to see a physical therapist in your area. If you don't have a physical therapist that you can see, I do online running consultations, so you can contact me, you can reach out. Let's get you out of pain first, right? Because again, it's going to be hard to enjoy running if you're in pain all the time. So we have to be strength training and working on our mobility so that our body is moving better, our running is more fluid and more efficient so that we can help to eliminate pain. I think that's really the baseline to help us enjoy running more, is to help it feel better in our body.
Yeah, I'll give you that one. That's a good place to start. I'm on board.
You're on board?
Yeah.
All right, so this...
I was going to say fun shorts, but I'll take eliminate pain.
Okay, fun shorts is helpful too. Kevin's got a pair of blue shorts with pink flamingos on them. Fantastic.
Yeah, but I don't think that I would enjoy wearing them if I still had the pain of a hernia. No. So maybe eliminating the pain is good that you started there.
But I've got my flamingo shorts instead. It's all good. So speaking of that, let go of the judgment that you just placed on Kevin for his flamingo shorts. Okay, that's actually number 2.
I don't know. I believe that was the voice you gave me that I have when I wear my flamingo shorts. Was that the impression that you had?
Oh, I don't think so.
Sure.
Not consciously.
Okay.
Maybe subconsciously. That's just what's going on here. So I don't know. Maybe I'm judging without even realizing it. Okay. Number 2 way to enjoy running more is that you have to let go of judgment. So one of the questions, again, that I asked on Instagram was, if you are someone that wants to enjoy running more, why don't you currently enjoy it? And one of the answers that I got, actually, I think this was multiple answers, said, because I'm so slow. So then my follow-up question is, why does that bother you? Why does it bother you that you're slow? And also, slow is relative, so I'm not going to even say, what's slow and what's not slow. But what are you making that mean? And I think that's really what we have to start to examine here, is if you think, I don't like running because I'm so slow, is it because you have judgment around yourself? Is it because you think other people are judging you? Is it because you're trying to get faster and you haven't been able to? And if so, what have you been doing to do that? Have you been consistent with your running? Or are you just judging yourself, and then when it comes to your running days, you're making excuses or reasons why you shouldn't go out for a run? Then it becomes a self-fulfilling prophecy. Then it becomes, again, we have this belief, this thought and this belief. And I'm actually go deeper into this whole idea of mindset and the thoughts, how thoughts and beliefs affect our results, in my new secret podcast, which I'm super excited about. It just launched this week. If you haven't listened to that yet, I should be putting the link right in here, but I don't really know what that link is yet. So I will put it in the show notes.
In the show notes. Check the show notes.
I will put it in the show notes. And if you're on our email list, I'll be emailing that out this week as well. So you don't have to worry about that. But I have created a new secret podcast.
Can they slide into your DMs and get it?
Sure. Would you like to say slide into your DMs again, like you're some sort of cool influencer?
I nailed that.
Just slide into your DMs.
I just really wanted to use that phrase.
So sure, you could slide into my DMs over on Instagram at Real Life Runners and just send me the word secret podcast and I'll send it your way.
That's that? 2 words.
So send me the words secret podcast.
There you go.
What are you, some sort of grammar police?
I was not judging. All right. Yes, that was 2 words.
There we go. Okay. So anyway, I do go deeper into this idea. So if you have these thoughts about yourself, if you're thinking, okay, I'm just a slow runner, or I'm never going to get better, I've been working at this for so long and I'm not making any progress. Those are all thoughts and those are all beliefs, and those are driving your actions and the results that you have in your running. And so it's really important to start letting go of judgment and starting to rewire those thoughts, which is not just thinking positive thoughts. It's not just about starting to tell yourself mantras and be like, no, I am a fast runner. I am a long runner. I believe in myself. That's not the way to actually rewire your thoughts. Was that a little like Jennifer Coolidge right there? Did you get that?
Slightly,
I feel like I heard
by the time you hit the third one,
right?
yes,
I was
a little bit.
Yeah, I didn't even know I had that impression.
That was a good one.
We're rocking it tonight thanks to this fatigue. Letting go of the judgment, because when you're judging yourself, if you're out on your run and you're like, oh, I'm so slow, oh, this feels like crap, ugh, all of these ughs, what is that? That's from like a movie or something, right? Ugh.
I don't know, but it opens with I'm so slow. So as soon as you tell yourself I'm so slow.
Oh, it's the Saturday Night Live skit. Ugh. It's like the Jimmy Fallon Sarah.
That's not Saturday Night Live. That was on his show.
Oh, that was on the Tonight Show?
Yes, that was on the Tonight Show.
I guess I'm just old.
Alrighty. But if you're telling yourself, I am slow, then every time you look at your watch, regardless of what the clock says, you're going to then interpret that as slow. Mm-hmm. Like if you then take off and, I'm going to surge this mile, if you're saying I'm a slow runner, you're going to look down at the watch and be like, oh yeah, that was a slow mile. Whatever the number is, it's going to be slow for you.
Yeah, and so if you had a mean girl that was running next to you, saying that to you, could you imagine how miserable your run would be if you were literally running next to someone that was saying that, oh, why are you so slow? I can't believe how slow you are, and just was insulting you the whole time that you were out on your run? That's not going to be an enjoyable run. But that is literally what so many people are doing to themselves with their thoughts in their brain.
Yeah, if you had a running partner, you would never actually say those thoughts to the person that you're running with, but you say it to yourself all the time. It's the thoughts that go through our head. It's why some people, instead of listening to the thoughts in their head, they put on this podcast or music or something else that distracts them.
So we can tell you that you're awesome.
Yeah, because you're running. But instead, people turn that off and they're like, oh no, the thoughts in my head are really bad. You've got to address those. They're still there. Even if you turn the volume up loud, those thoughts are still there. So it's beneficial to actually address those thoughts.
Right. And so by letting go of that judgment and starting to address the mean girl or mean guy in your head, it's going to start making your running a lot more enjoyable.
All right. Then the last section here.
Big yawn.
It was not. I kind of had to swallow, I think. Yeah.
I thought that was a big yawn.
No. We were talking about this a little bit before. Find a plan that is enjoyable. Find the aspects of running that you enjoy. And this next line here is going to be awkward for a running podcast. If you can't find an aspect of running that you enjoy, consider a different form of exercise. Honestly, if there's no aspect of running that is at all enjoyable, it might not be your thing for you. Okay, but find what it is that you do enjoy and see if you can figure out how to maximize that in your plan while minimizing the parts that you really don't want to do. Okay, some you can eliminate, some you can minimize.
And okay, as a little caveat on your statement there, which I do agree with, if you think running is just miserable, I do think that there's a lot of other ways that you can get in shape, you can get healthy, you can get strong. Strength training is non-negotiable no matter what you do, whether you're a runner or something else. But there's lots of other things you can do. However, if you like the idea of running, I know there's a lot of people that don't necessarily enjoy running yet, but they really like the idea of running and they want to like it. that's where I would challenge you to start to put in some of the things that we're talking about here, because when you start to look at running, like maybe you've just been doing it in a way that has not been enjoyable because you've been telling yourself, oh, I have to do this in order to be a good runner, when in reality that might be an optional thing.
Yeah, if you hate running and you're constantly telling yourself you're slow, so you're pushing too hard on every single run, I could see how every aspect of running would be unenjoyable.
Yeah.
Like that, in that case, you might want to try some of the things we're suggesting before you completely give up on it. If you've tried some of these things and you're like, actually, you know what, running sucks, then try a different thing.
Yeah.
Try something else.
Yeah.
But there are ways to make it far more enjoyable.
Yeah, so these ways that we're going to talk about are really ways for you that if you currently enjoy running sometimes and you want to enjoy it more, or you really love the idea of running and want to enjoy it, like we can start. Let's talk, okay? So let's get on a plan, okay? Every runner, we believe, should be on a plan, whether that is a maintenance plan. If you're doing races and you like races, get on a race plan. If you have other goals, like there's lots of different types of plans you can be on, but the plan is so helpful because it just tells you what to do every day. You don't have to figure it out. And I'm guessing that most runners want to improve in some ways. Most people don't want to decline and get slower and weaker. I can say that's probably a fair thing to say.
I'll say that one's fair. I don't know if necessarily every runner out there really wants to improve.
Not necessarily.
I think
there's a lot of people that just want to maintain, and I think that's totally valid.
Maintain and enjoy the process of maintenance.
Yes.
And in that case,
that's where I am.
There's a whole lot of ways that you can mess with your training plan. A lot.
100%. And that's definitely where I like to live. I like to live in maintenance mode. I don't really honestly care about my pace right now. There was a time and a phase where I definitely did, and I was trying to get faster. I was trying to build mileage. Right now with my running journey, I love what I do every single week, going back to enjoying the process. I love how many runs I do. I love that I have a speed run and a longer run and an easy run. I like having the flexibility to move things around. I like that I strength train 3 times a week. So I love my routine, and it's okay that I'm not getting faster right now.
Yeah. And that's this whole section here is figure out what it is that like it's enjoyable for you because it also brings you a level of satisfaction.
Totally.
Like it is very healthy what you were doing. Yeah. But you're not trying to chase PRs. Mm-hmm. At one point, you were chasing PRs and it was enjoyable, and then you kind of got to the hamster wheel aspect of it, and it lost the enjoyment.
And then COVID happened then too.
And all races disappeared.
Races went away. And
hamster wheels just spun wild.
So then I was doing my own thing and still challenging myself, which was fun. And then I started shifting focus more to strength training, which I really have been enjoying.
COVID caused the two of us to go in very different directions. You really doubled down on strength training, and I was like, 100 miles, let's do this.
Ultra marathons. That's when you did your first ultra.
Yeah.
Was during New Year's Eve of 2020.
Yes, that was 31 miles.
Yeah.
Loop in the neighborhood, which I thought was enjoyable because it was fun for me.
Okay, so let's talk about finding a plan and our process to maximize what you like and minimize the things that you don't like, because you don't need to be putting all things into your training plan depending on what your goal is.
Okay, so you don't need a long run. You don't. We're put that out there. You don't have to have a long run. If you are training for a half marathon or a marathon, a long run is going to be beneficial for you. If you don't have a race on the schedule, there's no running rule book that says if you don't have a long run over the weekend, then you're not a real runner. Yeah. Okay? It doesn't have to fit the weekend. We've got someone on the team who does their long run on a Thursday. You can put your long run wherever it fits your schedule. Or not have one, which takes a whole lot of pressure off of some people.
Yeah, I agree. And I think that, again, the caveat here is that you're not training for a longer race. If you are training for a half marathon or above, a long run is very important. There's a certain amount of running that you need to do in order to prepare yourself to do the thing that you want to be able to achieve. But if you're not training for a race right now, like me, you don't have to have a long run. Like I have a longer run, but I don't have a long run that progresses in mileage every week. I have 3 to 4 runs during my week. Lately it's been more 3, and I have like where I do a 4 mile, a 5 mile, and a 6 mile, essentially. And that's what I do. And I like that. And sometimes I do a little bit less, and sometimes I do a little bit more. Sometimes I go up to 7 or 8 on the weekends. Sometimes my 4 turns into a 3. Like, it just depends, but I've got some flexibility around that, which I really like.
You have 4, 5, 6. One of them is longer than the other ones. I'm saying you could have 5, 5, 5.
Totally.
And that is fine.
Yeah.
Like, your runs don't have to vary in distance, and it's still going to be fine. You don't need 2 speed sessions every week. That's a classic thing. I think it came from Frank Shorter back in like the 70s, that he was basically like, designing a running plan is not that hard. Put in 2 hard workouts and 1 long run, and then fill the rest in with as much easy mileage as your body can handle. Yeah. That was essentially his training advice. You don't have to. He won the Olympic gold. Yeah. You may not be aiming for that same goal. Okay, so you don't have to have 2 speed sessions because someone told you that's the best way to optimize your training.
If you like speed sessions, then you can.
Yes.
Right.
That's the flip of it. Is the converse, if you really enjoy running fast, you can run strides all the time. You could put strides onto basically every run during the week and you'd be fine. I don't think that you should necessarily go out and do these hard speed sessions every day. That's too much overload. We've talked about pushing too hard every time, but you can put 2 speed sessions during the run. You're like, oh, I only run 4 days a week. Is 2 speed sessions too much? Not if the sessions themselves have the right amount of volume inside of it. It might not be big speed sessions. There might be a warm-up and a cool-down and a little bit where you get to play with some fun, faster paces. If that's enjoyable for you, that should be your training plan. That sounds like a whole heck of a lot of fun. Maybe not for me. You would enjoy that kind of a plan. That's how I got you into running. Yeah. You didn't enjoy just going out and running.
No, I did not.
You didn't. And so I've got another one on here. Every single run you go on could have a change of pace to it. Just because it's an easy run does not mean that you can't change between slightly faster and slightly slower. Like, you can still go up and down on every single run.
Yeah, which is great. And I think that this is a lot of things that people don't realize are quote unquote allowed, right? But who's making these running rules that you're following?
I just said it.
I think that's an important thing to look at too. Where are you getting some of these rules? Because there are quote unquote best practices for a lot of runners, but that doesn't mean that is what is right for every single runner out there. Okay, strength training. I got to talk about it. It's non-negotiable. You do have to do strength training. I will say it, and that is a hill that I am prepared to run up and down and stand on as long or as hard as I have to. You have to strength train as a runner. However, I will admit that the volume of strength training is adjustable based on your goals and your likes or dislikes. I really like strength training, so I put additional strength training sessions into my week that aren't necessarily aimed at making me a better runner. They're just aimed at making me a stronger person. Whereas if I was making a strength program for Kevin, I'm going to focus more on the strength aspects that are going to really support him in his running, and then ask him if he wants to do a little bit extra.
Yeah, you're not putting any extra strength into my plan that you don't think is the required strength for what I want to accomplish. Like this.
But also, like, some of what you want to accomplish is also just being a strong human. You've got to carry boxes. Like, we put in sod, you installed a fence. Like, there's a lot of housework and things that you do too. And so it's important for you to be able to be strong without getting hurt. So it's not just, it's like, yes, you're a runner, but you're not just a runner. You're also a strong man that needs to be strong to, pick up our kids that when they randomly jump into your arms without notice.
The one does like to jump on my back all the time.
But if she did that and you weren't strong enough there, like, you don't want to throw out your back, which, would end up actually affecting your running.
Yeah, okay, so I need enough strength that I can run as fast as I want and catch our kid when she runs from across the room and then just leaps onto me.
Exactly.
Okay, so I need those 2 levels of strength training.
Exactly.
Which is fine. And that's why strength is non-negotiable. Like, I was curious if you're going to go with my words, because that's what I put down. Strength is non-negotiable, but the volume is adjustable completely based off of your goals. What do you need to get out of strength?
Yes. And there is a minimum that is required, but I do also think that minimum is different for everybody.
Yeah, and I think it's drastically dependent on your goals and how well and easily you adjust to strength.
Yes, and also your injury history and your bone health and your muscle health, and there's a lot of factors
so there's a huge factor list
that play into it. But I would say minimum is twice a week, and the length of those sessions is variable, but you can get a lot of really good benefits as a runner with 2 30-minute strength sessions per week. Like, you can probably hit all of the muscles that you need to hit if strength training is not your favorite thing, and then add in some like additional mobility throughout the week as well, like through some warm-ups and some running drills and things like that.
If you have an empty gym, you can crank it out in 20.
Yeah.
You definitely can.
Yeah.
If you're not waiting for anybody, all the machines are just available to you.
Yeah.
20 minutes, I can knock this thing out.
Yeah.
See, do I have anything else in here? You can run almost every day as long as you're picking appropriate distances and efforts. Okay? Some people love going out and running all the time. We've got people on the team that are like, I would like a training plan that has 3 days of running, 4 days of running. We have people that are like, can I run 8 days out of the week? That's a lot of running.
8 days a week. That's my British Beatles accent. That was the perfect opportunity. That was definitely not British.
That was not British at all. But yeah, no, you could have gone there.
Yeah.
I'm not. But what I went with is you can run almost every day. Okay?
That is Kevin's love language.
What, running almost every day?
Yeah.
Yes. But I still, when I feel like my body needs a recovery day, needs an off day, I take it. And that's, I think, a very important balance.
Yeah.
Because just because I would enjoy going out and running tomorrow does not mean that's necessarily the best thing for my long-term health. So that's the other thing is, even when it's enjoyable, sometimes you need to take the off day also. Yeah. You need to be like, it sounds really fun to do that, but I probably shouldn't. Yeah,
and that's true. And again, that's knowing your limitations and your boundaries and really understanding your body in a way that you can read your body's signals. And that's, again, this is something that we teach inside of our coaching program, inside of the Running Reconnected method. We help you reconnect to your body and what your body needs, because your body is sending you signals all of the time. And if you ignore those signals, you're just going to end up fatigued. You're going to end up not enjoying your runs. You're going to end up in pain or illness or being forced to take time off. But when you learn how to reconnect to your body and really then honor it, right, and actually take those off days when your body is telling you, hey, bud, we need an off day today, or we need some more mobility work, or your body's constantly communicating with you. When you learn how to listen to it and actually do those things, then you don't have to take time off. You can run as far or as long or as often as you really want to. I would say want is the questionable word there, right? Because you might want to go run. It's best for you to stay in and just sleep.
Yeah, but this is the thing is...
But you want that, right? Because then that's going to help you long term.
Yeah, because the least enjoyable aspect of running is forced downtime.
Yes.
Forced downtime is the worst aspect of running because it's the complete opposite of running. Forced downtime, that is literally the worst aspect there could be.
Absolutely. All right, is there anything else that you want to add in here that you think people should hear today?
Literally anything that you can come up with that makes it fun. Like new paths, new trails, running with people, running without people, running with music, running, like whatever you're like, that would make it more enjoyable. Is that cheating? No.
Yeah.
Like people are like, oh, you shouldn't run with music all the time. If you find it enjoyable, who's stopping you?
Yeah.
There is not running. There are
no rules.
There's not a committee out there that's, that doesn't count. It counts. Do whatever you find enjoyable. If you love the various running outfits, rock those. If you enjoy the fun socks. I ran without a shirt this morning. That just that made my run. Honestly, I was considering taking a nap. But then I didn't have a shirt, and I was like, actually, this seems like it's going to be fun to go out and run.
Yeah.
That little thing was possibly what got me out the door and not back into bed.
Yeah, I don't think I've run with a shirt like all summer long because it's just so hot here that just having a shirt, even a lightweight shirt, makes running less enjoyable for me.
Yeah,
it used to be the opposite. So this is the interesting thing too. I just have to add this in here because running used to be like, I used to be so self-conscious about my body, especially my stomach, that I didn't want to show it when I was very self-conscious running. So I was able to get over that, and now it's just so much more comfortable and enjoyable when I don't need to wear a shirt.
I finished like an hour before the sun came up, so no one could see me, so I was fine.
Oh, stop. All right. Were you gonna add something else in here?
No, just whatever you can come up with that you're like, actually, that sounds really fun. Then you should do that.
Yeah, exactly. All right. So if you guys want to hear more about like how to enjoy running, we're going to go, you can check out episode, I think it was 342 and 272. We have a couple other episodes about like how to bring more joy into your running. If you want to catch my secret podcast, I will drop that link in the show notes below this episode. Or again, you can also send me the words, double, plural.
Just slide into those DMs.
In the DMs at Real Life Runners. And then if you want to join our 30-day Strong Runner Kickstart, we've got a 30-day challenge coming up. That is kicking off September 1st. You can go over to yourrunningplan.com and sign up for that 30-day challenge. Today, we're going to show you exactly how to combine running and strength training in a personalized way that works for you, because that's really the key that, you know, of all of this is, yes, you need to do running, you know, you need to do strength training, but how can I combine both of those things in a way where they complement each other and don't work against each other? Because if you're doing things the wrong way, your running can work against your strength training, and your strength training can actually work against your running. And we don't want that for you. We want you guys making progress. We want you feeling good, and we want you to be able to enjoy running more. And that's part of what this challenge is also going to give to you. It's going to give you that plan, but it's also going to help you with the mindset stuff that we've been talking about today, and it's going to help you with nutrition and all the other aspects to help you feel better and enjoy running more. So again, you can sign up for that 30-day challenge over at yourrunningplan.com. As always, thanks for joining us. This has been the Real Life Runners Podcast, episode number 423. Now get out there and run your life.